Hi folks, I'm just going to start doing these videos which are basically just thoughts based on things that I hear, that I read, or I hear in videos, and they spark something to think about. And here's Milo. You can say hello. He just wants to go for a walk. Just about to go for one. So I don't have a narrative. I'm not working, because I know there are quite a few YouTubers, and this is why I need to make this clear, because there's so many YouTubers that do this, that I want people to understand that I don't do this, that I don't have a one theory that I think happened. I'm just questioning different things, because there's just things that don't make sense. And so my different videos, I can think lots of different things at the same time. I can think this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. And I'm not saying that any specific thing happened. I'm just looking at what could have happened based on information, like what could certain information point towards. So Milo's very interested, aren't you? So the thing that I was listening to A.R. Hayes yesterday, I think it was, and he was talking, I think it was the video from the day before, but he was talking about the knife sheath, and basically that he would, if he had realised, and it's interesting looking at it from the perspective of somebody who has committed crimes. Well, he has committed crimes of this nature in prison, but he has also entered people's houses, and if he had left something behind, what he would have done. And I guess not all burglars would necessarily do the same thing, and as he said himself, it depends how much is riding on it. Like, this is basically, he has, as far as I know, as far as he's said, he hasn't committed violent crimes in people's houses. So that's something to bear in mind. However, having said that, he said he would go back for the sheath, and he said he doesn't think it's possible you wouldn't realise that you'd lost it. I mean, we don't even know that it wasn't already in the house, to be fair, but he's saying, and he acknowledges that, but he's saying if it was his sheath, he's pretty sure that he or that person would realise that they hadn't got it and would go back for it. And he was saying about the 9 o'clock thing, about returning at 9 o'clock. But his, when Brian Koberger was pulled over by police in August, I think they said that hit a cell tower, and that was all the way over by Winco's, by Palouse Mall, which would have been a big reason why he would have been 12 times, like I've said in another video, stalking versus shopping, that basically people, it's a known fact to people living in Moscow and Pullman that they go back and forth between the two. Like they use the restaurants and the shops interchangeably. Anyway, he said he would have gone back, and he said about this 9 o'clock thing. But the 9 o'clock thing, he could have possibly, if all they're going on is like the cell tower, then that could have been him basically just going to a shop or something. Or he might just know somebody over there. We don't know that at this moment. But what I was thinking is that the 4 o'clock I don't know if it's him. Sorry, I'm trying to think. These videos are going to be just sort of me thinking on my feet, so you're going to have to bear with me because I haven't said this out loud yet. So my brain has to formulate things out loud. So I'm trying to formulate. I've got it in my mind, but I'm trying to put it into words. So I really appreciate your patience. So whoever it was, regardless of whether it was Brian Koberger or somebody else, at 4-ish, this white car that they see on the cameras, and if somebody did go to the building, they only went in for these 8 minutes. Well, could that have been somebody looking for the sheath rather than somebody killing someone? 8 minutes is not enough time. It's not enough time for somebody who's not a trained assassin to go in and kill 4 people. And one of them, apparently, we're led to believe, I don't even know if this is true because this is just leakage, was stabbed 50 plus times. And I'm obviously not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the incredulity of stabbing somebody 50 plus times and stabbing 3 other people in 8 minutes. And is that with getting to and from the car as well? It's just not very doable as a first-time offender, really, is it? First-time murderer who hasn't apparently been in the house before. Or even if you've been in a house before, you need to know it pretty well, wouldn't you? Oh, man. So, sorry, somebody keeps popping up on my phone. How dare they? So, I might have to do this video again because I'm trying to find my brain's trying to find its way around my thoughts. I wish I could just throw my thoughts into a video and have it process them instead of me having to process them into words. So this person, if they exist with this mask on, could they have been could this person not be the killer, not be the perpetrator? Because if they were somebody who was in that frame of mind, that murderous frame of mind, to just walk past another person and leave is just, it's just really, 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 really unlikely. But if they were somebody who had been sent in to find the sheath and they clearly failed to do so, or maybe the murder weapon was there as well, and maybe they retrieved the murder weapon but didn't find the sheath. But then that seems more likely, and them having the mask on, maybe I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Well, if that was said, I mean, that's a weird thing to make up, isn't it? If that was said, I don't know. I'm just trying to put it together in my brain. But it just occurred to me that 8 minutes could have been somebody going back for something, and I would think that person is not the perpetrator because they didn't apparently do anything. So they're not, and it's not just going to be anybody who's capable of doing that. Like, this is what I find that I don't think a lot of people understand, and thinking that it's fraternity boys as well, right? Maybe if somebody, it would take a certain kind of somebody to do that sort of thing. I actually know the certain kind of somebody. I know at least one person who has committed extremely violent acts, and they're not like you. There's something different about them, really different. Not different like they're a loner and weird or anything like that, but they're different. But within their group, they're not different. Within their family, they're not different. They're the same. They're the same as these other family members. They're all like that. They're all it's something bred in kind of thing. But the person who went in, we're probably, that's the hard thing to understand. Who would do that? They'd have to owe the other person something big, wouldn't they? And maybe they'd have to know, I suppose, wouldn't they, that it was a murder. They are going to get a knife. They'd have to know that the knife had been used. So they would have to be aware of that. I'm just thinking it through. So this person would have to seriously owe the other person and possibly be related to the other person. People do things for family that they wouldn't do for anybody else. I don't know. Maybe that person might be... No, all of this is just speculation. Maybe if that person had a role where... Because I'm thinking maybe if that person was law enforcement, the person going in to retrieve, then they might feel that they can get away with more. You might be more likely to enter somebody's home without needing... I mean, I suppose you've got more to lose as somebody with a law enforcement as well, who's law enforcement. So, like, that the perpetrator might have more over you, more leverage. That basically, for somebody to go in and get that knife sheath, there has to be leverage. There has to be something that the perpetrator has over the person who goes in to retrieve it. But my thinking is, if somebody really did enter that building and leave it within an 8-minute time frame, and maybe the police or law enforcement, whatever you want to call them, investigators do have reason to know that somebody entered and left within 8 minutes, then maybe that person went in looking for either the knife itself or the knife sheath, and it was one or both were lost during a struggle. I had thought that the knife sheath, from the beginning, I thought that the knife sheath may have been moved, may have been found by law enforcement and moved to where it was found because it fit with the narrative better than wherever it was before. And there's been talk of it being under Ethan. I mean, that's plausible. He's a big guy, hard to move. If you couldn't find it, you could have been under. And also, if you're going to get into a big struggle and you really do have a knife sheath attached to your belt, then that might be the time that it comes off. Not really you put it down right at the beginning. It might be more likely that you were in a severe struggle and it got ripped off during the struggle, and you'd be in less of a frame of mind after getting into a big struggle. The other thing that I thought of was if two people ended up getting stabbed. We're going in a minute, okay? The other two people, and I think that would be Xana and Ethan, ended up getting stabbed, getting attacked when the person went back for the knife. The knife or the knife sheath. And that's how it ended up being 4 people, that 2 people were attacked initially, which I would assume in this scenario would have been the girls, because of the fact that the other 2 were on the ground floor. I'm calling that the ground floor, the floor with the sliding door. I call it the second floor, I suppose. But that's like where ground floor, as in where you'd go in. And if you went in there, and there's people awake, it appears more like there was an interruption, but maybe the interruption wasn't when they were initially killed. It was when, in this scenario, this person returns. So in this scenario, the person returning would be the perpetrator. However, I totally agree that there could be more than one perpetrator. But in this scenario, I'm saying this is only one of many, many scenarios I have, by the way. But in this scenario, if it was one perpetrator, this perpetrator attacked the girls, lost the sheath, came back for the sheath, and that's when there was an altercation between them, and Xana and Ethan. But yeah, where the hell does the DoorDash fit into this? Most scenarios that I come up with that can be thought of, scenarios that other people come up with as well, there's always a hole. There's always a yeah, but. And the yeah, but with this, if the person came back and then attacked Xana and Ethan, is yeah, but apparently this person just walked past Dylan and didn't attack her, so it wouldn't make sense then. Would make more sense that the person who came back within that short 8-minute time frame was not the perpetrator and was somebody coming back because they were in a position where they were forced into it. Their hand was forced. There was leverage. And so they went in to either try and retrieve the sheath or retrieve both knife and sheath. And they encountered Dylan, but because they were not of a murderous mind, they just left. Just food for thought. Food for thought. Right, we're going to go on a walk now, aren't we? You'll be glad to know.